Peter's confession of the divinity of Jesus comes at a turning point in Jesus' ministry. Many things fall into place. Jesus progressively reveals that whereas he is the Messiah, he is not going to be the kind of Messiah his disciples expect. And that Peter, whose profession of faith wins his praise, will become the leader of the small group of disciples. The scene of this conversation is the neighborhood of Caesarea Philippi. Jesus asks his followers, "Who do people say that I am? Who do you say that I am?" Notice that Jesus uses the form Son of Man when referring to himself. This was a colloquial way of referring to himself as an ordinary fellow. Son of being a Hebrew way of meaning of the same nature as. Jesus rejects all flashy titles referring to the Messiah. The disciples trot out the usual answers. Some say, "You're John the Baptist, come back from the dead." Some say, "You're Elijah, also returned from the dead to usher in the end of time." Some say you're a prophet, like Jeremiah. It seemed fairly clear that the common folk thought that Jesus was some kind of prophet, a spokesman on behalf of God. On behalf of them all, Peter then declares, "You are the Christ." In effect, he means, "You are the Messiah." Jesus accepts this declaration but binds his disciples to silence. Then he goes further. He predicts that he, Jesus, will soon be delivered into the hands of his enemies, the chief priests and the scribes, and that he will be tortured and put to death, and that he will rise from the dead on the third day. This is his future. The disciples are shocked to hear this, and Peter takes it upon himself to scold Jesus for speaking thus. To his dismay, Jesus shuts him up, saying that Peter doesn't understand God's ways at all. Then, to his disciples' further discomfiture, he lays down the conditions for discipleship. "Take up your cross and follow me. Accompany me through humiliation and suffering. Accept that this will make no sense to you and that you will lose your life. But in doing so, you will save your life. Everything will make deeper sense to you, not just for a little while, but for all time." It would take a long time for his disciples to grasp this truth.